next? What league becomes the next billion-dollar league in women's pro sports? We're going to phone a friend. I want to hear a different side of it from someone who's in the game.
That is why the WNBA and the NWSL actually have achieved this status, because they've been fighting for each other. I think women's sports and all of these women's leagues are going to thrive and get to that billion-dollar valuation at some point, and hopefully in the most nearest future.
Yes.
Attention. The party is about to commence.
Welcome to the party.
What's up, party people? I'm Julie Foudy.
I'm Abby Wambach.
And I'm Billie Jean King.
Kinger, where you at?
I am in Palm Desert because the big Indian Wells tournament's coming up. So lots of meetings, lots of business meetings, not just on tennis either, like other sports and things. So we never stop. It's fun though,
No,
and we get
you
to see
don't
friends.
stop.
Most importantly, we get to see friends.
She's like, we're back from our global trip from Milan, and let's get on another plane and go across the country again.
Yeah, why not?
I'm so tired still from my trip to Milan.
I
don't
know.
know how.
Are
the
you?
hell
Me
she-
too, though. I'm tired. I am tired from Milan.
You know, the party is continuing. Paralympics opening ceremony, 1 day away. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's
I can't
great.
wait.
It's so
I wanna
exciting.
I think
watch.
if I make it 4 more years, I want to go to the Paralympics. I think I'm going to go to the para ones, not just the regular ones. I think I'm going to go just the Paralympics. Yeah, I think so. I've been
Yeah.
thinking about it. I
They're
hate
amazing.
the fact they start afterwards, and I want to
I
see
know.
them. And
I
the
do
Women's
too.
Sports
I've said that
Foundation, we
for
really-
years. I'm like, why can't they play them simultaneously? The answer
must-
I always get is that it's a venue thing. It's a space.
That's what I
thing.
get.
It's
I get
an
the
Olympic
same
Village
answer.
thing. You can't house that many athletes. I'm like, well, let's create a space that
Figure
does
it
it
out.
together because is amazing. The Paralympics are amazing. So
Airbnb
they-
it.
But they
Yeah.
do
Use
I think
Airbnb.
but
Yeah,
they deserve
true.
to be. That's a good idea. They deserve to be with the Olympics when the Olympics are happening. I think.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
think we need to really step it up when it comes to
Yeah.
Paralympics.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
they are as big of a deal as the others. It's just not portrayed that way in the media because
Correct.
it's delayed.
It's the way,
for
right.
2
It's the way
weeks.
you. It's the way you commercialize. It's the way you advertise it. It's the way you media. You're correct. It's all those things that make an event or events seem bigger than life.
Coming up next, for years, y'all, women's sports and women's pro sports were just trying to keep the doors open, as we know. Well, now we're in the billion-dollar era. Yes, we are, and that changes everything. So the question is simple. Who's next? Abby and I go head-to-head on what league becomes the next billion-dollar league in women's pro sports. And we each get to call in a surprise guest.
But first, International Women's Day is March 8th. Yep,
Yes.
y'all. It's a day to celebrate the social, economic, cultural, political achievements of women while pushing for progress wherever equality still doesn't exist. And the three of us all have spent basically our whole lives pushing progress in women's sports direction. All of us have seen change. And I think I'm curious because Jules and Billy, like, you both have such different and unique perspective and such similar perspective in some ways. What is one moment in your career when you realized this wasn't just about playing, when it became a time where it got bigger for you? Is there one moment you can recall?
Julie,
Billy?
Kinger?
I do. I
We said it at the same time. Kinger, you and Julie.
go for it, Julie.
No, Kinger, you always go first. You are the king of queens.
Yeah.
Well, the first time I thought about tennis and the way I wanted to be a part of it was when I was 12. I played 1 year, and I was sitting at the Los Angeles Tennis Club and just daydreaming and thinking that I did ask, where's everybody else? Because everybody was white balls, white clothes, and I said, we've got to stop that. But I got a much bigger idea in my head. I thought, first of all, tennis is global, just like soccer. And maybe if I can become number one, I can influence and make the world a little bit better. How can I do that? And that's really what drove me to be number one, I think, more than just being number one. You know, like a lot of kids say, I just want to be the best and all that.
Yeah.
I really wanted to change the world, and I promised myself that day I would fight for equality and inclusion the rest of my life. Wow. I mean, I was like,
how old were you?
Boom. I was 12.
What? Mine, Abs, was when I was playing with the U.S. women's national team, early days, and we got to a point where we were like, why is this so hard? Like, why do we keep asking for things nicely and nothing is changing? Nothing is moving along. I mean, simple shit all the time.
Like what? Like what?
Why are we staying at the Holiday Inn Express, taking the Holiday Inn Express shuttle to the games when the men are at the Ritz-Carlton? Like, is that fair? Right? Like, why do they have, 7 trainers and 5 massage therapists, and we can't even get a trainer, like, to tape our ankles? Like, why? And so we would start asking and noticing the differences of the way the men were getting supported and the way the women were getting supported. Why do we go into a city and no one knows we were even there? We'd be out to dinner after a game and they'd be like, wait, what, you were in town? How did we not know this? Well, because no one's going to spend money on marketing. So when we finally got to a point that we were starting to fight U.S. soccer, the thing that I remember the most is we got to a board member and said, can we get documents from the board that show how much money is being spent on an under 12 girl versus an under 12 boy? Because to us, that's the thing that is so wrong in all of this, that you are a federation that was built to support and grow soccer. It doesn't say for just men or just boys in this country. And that is your mission statement. So what are they spending on girls and boys of the same age? And what we discovered in these documents, which then I said this will become my lifelong service, and it has, is that they were spending 80% of their money on a 12-year-old boy versus 20% of their money on a 12-year-old girl. And so we started to bring them those numbers and said, we have your numbers. We've been through all your P&Ls. And guess what? You're not doing what you say you're doing in your mission statements. And that's actually when we got the Federation to change, because they said, we agree that's not right. Wow. And it's not about lining our pockets. It's not about what the women's national team is getting. And yes, you have to fight for those things to then the pipeline to be better. But it was like, how can this even be legal? Like what you're doing, it's a nonprofit that's built to build the sport. How are we outspending on a boy versus a girl? And I was like, from now on, that's going to be my fight.
And so that's what it was. I love that so much.
I was so pissed about that.
I never heard that story. That's amazing.
Yeah. How can you discriminate against a young kid because of their gender? And it happens all the time in spending in sports.
Well, I think what you both have talked about is really important, because Billy, when you're 12 and you're dreaming about a world that you can envision that might look a little bit more equal for us women, I think that so many really successful athletes and people in the world, they have a dream, they have a vision of where they're going. And so that I think that it's really special. And Jules, one of the things that I'm taking away so much from what you just said was like, you found evidence. You found like the stats and the info in order to prove the way that you were feeling, like that point. And my moment, it was 2 separate moments, 96 and 99. I was not on our senior women's national team yet. I was on the youth national teams. And watching with my eyes, with my eyeballs, seeing it on television, you guys win a gold medal and then win the 99 Women's World Cup, that molecularly changed something in my body. Because I saw how a game that you all were like a part of and playing could impact. I felt how it impacted me. I knew in my bones what it was inspiring me to do.
That's cool.
And so knowing that you all were having the impact on me, and then after 99 happened, I didn't have a plan B after college. And I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to be on the field and experience that, not just to be the champion, but to be a part of this cultural moment that you all were able to curate. And so that for me was absolutely the thing that I was like, boom. And not to mention, like, when we say these stories, party people, I like to go a little bit deeper. The reason why it's so important to have women in talent positions talking about women's sports or having women's sports in media is because without having the ability to have watched you guys with my eyeballs, because I wasn't there at either one of those games, I was watching it on television, Abby Wambach might not have ever played for the national team. So it is very important that women have access and are represented in the media landscape so that our next generation of, Billie Jean Kings and Julie Foudys and Abby Wambachs are given the correct information to be inspired by. I
mean, the reality is, though, that we have made progress. There's no question. There's more women in leadership. There's more investment in women's sports. There's more girls playing than ever, as we know. But we also have to acknowledge that there are still gaps, that we have pay equity issues, we have funding issues, safety, representation. That's, I think, really what International Women's Day is all about. And I want to celebrate the momentum of what we've accomplished while also being honest about the work left to do. And if you actually want to put action behind this cause, the International Women's Day created this website which has a giving directory, which is so perfect. It's basically a curated list of organizations doing real measurable work. So if you're looking to donate and move things forward or help an organization, you can go into this. It's internationalwomensday.com/giving directory. It'll be in the show notes. So internationalwomensday.com/giving directory. And you can look up all these amazing organizations doing great work in this space. So do that if you have the time. Okay, up next, we've got the WNBA, we've got the NWSL, but who's next in women's sports to hit that $1 billion league mark? Volleyball? Lacrosse? Softball? Flag football? Kinger, we could have used you for this one. Abby and I battle it out up next.
Okay, as you know, we've all been passionately following the Olympics. And the 2026 Winter Olympics in Milano Cortina has featured the highest percentage of women athletes in Winter Game history. Yes. With women making up 47% of all participants. Almost half. The games included 50 women's events, surpassing the previous record set at the 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics. Yes. Now, we think this deserves a celebration. Yep. So join us and CARE this International Women's Day and Women's History Month to help level the playing field for women. Do you know how important it is for pay equity in women's sports that 74% of women athletes work extra jobs to make ends meet?
I know. It's crazy when you think about that. How many? Still, 3/4 of women athletes work extra jobs.
Yes, we need pay equity. We also need to talk about the real impacts this has on women in sports. Leveling the playing field does not only mean that we're just watching women's sports or just creating leagues or just amplifying voices. It also means we are leveling salaries for women and closing the gap to their male counterparts, especially because women on average won more medals for the United States at the Winter Olympics in 2026 than men. 67% went to women for gold and 61% went to women for silver. Just wanted to add that note. So who cares about leveling the playing field for women in sports? You do. I do. We do. And so does CARE, a global organization fighting poverty and working to level all fields for women and girls every day around the world in local communities with local leadership. This March, join them. Sign the pledge at care.org/pledge. Okay, so Jules, Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton cross training Tread Plus powered. It's the most incredible thing. It's powered by Peloton IQ.
Yeah, have it. It is amazing. And as you can imagine, Abs, I'm pretty particular about how I work out because I can't just like run on my own anymore. I can't just run like that. Like, obviously we spent our life doing that and training that way, but it is the hardest thing and I won't do it. I just won't. I won't do it anymore. It's not enjoyable. And that's why this new Peloton Tread Plus is amazing because you get all the classes, of course, in front of you. So you feel like you're in a class, but you can totally mix things up. You're not just running. You can swivel that screen and you can get off and start doing a little boot camp on the side. It's so cool. The swivel, I was like, what?
It's the best. It's been a game changer for me because like you, I can't run, but I can't run because I have foot problems. And so the tread and the forgiving nature of the actual tread helps me to be able to actually move. I can walk on there. I can get an incline on there. I can swivel that screen. But I think what I love most is that the screen swivels in a way where I can guide and I can do the Pilates on the ground. I can do weightlifting. I'm like literally looking at this Peloton Plus tread. It's just like
in
so
your basement.
Cool.
It's down
and
there
my
in your
wife
basement.
loves it. Seriously, I'm stunned at how much I actually didn't know I needed this. It mixes up my weekly routine. It's guides by instructors. Like I feel like I've got friends and I've got trainers on my side now.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it too. I love it. So let yourself run, lift, sculpt, push, and go. It does it all. Explore the new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com.
This episode of Welcome to the Party is brought to you by Cologuard, a non-invasive colon cancer screening test. So, Jules, when people think about colon cancer, right, they often assume it only impacts them if it runs in their family, okay? But the reality is up to 75% of people diagnosed have no family history at all. I repeat, there is no link to family hereditary because 75% of people diagnosed have no family history at all. The encouraging part though, Jules, is colon cancer is one of the most preventable cancers when it's caught early and whether you have a known family connection or not. And even if you don't have any symptoms, staying up to date on screening is critical. The Cologuard test is a screening option delivered to your door. The test helps make screening feel, I think, more doable for people by removing some of the friction that keeps people from getting screening, like prep and taking time off work, etc. So when I heard that one of my dearest and closest family members was diagnosed with colon cancer, it was really scary. And I think that it kind of woke me up into really wanting to take care of myself and get the screenings done. And so I don't know, I think that I also have not used Cologuard because I am considered a high risk. And so if you are high risk, then you would do a colonoscopy, which is what I do. Cologuard is for folks who are not necessarily considered high risk. And I think that for me too, I want to talk about this because colon cancer is one of the most preventable cancers. You just have to be on top of it. Don't assume that you're going to be fine just because nobody in your family has it. Go get tested. Order a Cologuard test. It's at home. This is not one of those situations where you have to go into the hospital and get put under anesthesia. You can do this from the comfort of your own home. There are no excuses. Get screened for colon cancer. Yep. Please, party people, I really don't want any of you to go unscreened from this preventable disease. And the Cologuard test is simple. It's a simple way to get it done. So if you're 45 years or older and at average risk, ask your healthcare provider about screening for colon cancer with Cologuard test. You can also request a Cologuard prescription today at Cologuard.com. The Cologuard Plus test is intended to screen adults 45 years of age and older who are at average risk for colorectal cancer. Do not use the Cologuard products if you have had adenomas, which are a type of colon polyp that can sometimes become cancer, inflammatory bowel disease, or other hereditary syndromes, a personal or first-degree family history of colorectal cancer, or a positive result from another colon cancer screening method within the test recommended screening interval. Talk to your healthcare provider if any of these situations apply to you. Cologuard results should be interpreted with caution. A positive test result does not confirm the presence of cancer. Patients with a positive test result should be referred for colonoscopy. A negative test result does not confirm the absence of cancer. Patients with a negative test result should discuss with their doctors when they need to be tested again. False positives and false negatives results can occur. Available by prescription only.
Abs, the other day I was thinking about how for so long women's pro sports were literally just trying to survive. And remember, we going back to NWSL's launch in 2012, it was our third women's pro league for soccer. And I can remember y'all were just, in that phase of trying to keep the doors open, stay on the field, prove we belong, all those things. It's crazy.
Well, it brings me back to when you were the captain of the national team, and right before the World Cup in 2003, you had to tell us, the players, that the WUSA was folding, that we needed to fold it. And I'll never forget that huddle up, because I had this thought in my head: this is not going to be the last time women's pro soccer exists here. I remember thinking that and feeling like if we just win this World Cup, we can get something back.
Right.
So yeah, it's been a long road, a lot of questions, a lot of insecurity, really, because it's like I felt like we were banging our head against the wall half the time, because the product was good. Like, the sport, the games are good, the players are good. Why won't people just come and watch? Or why won't businesses want to be a part of this? I could never understand it. It didn't make any sense to me.
Well, now it's starting to make a little more sense, because we're clearly in a different place. We've got women's soccer and women's basketball. Both those leagues have exploded. Soaring franchise values, major media rights deals, literally real investment that has finally changed that conversation. And both of those leagues, WNBA and NWSL, have each surpassed the $1 billion valuation mark when you tally up the teams within each league. And as we know, that's a huge win. But why that matters is once a few women's leagues cross into that $1 billion territory, as we know, it changes the rules for everyone else.
Yep.
And I think it answers the biggest questions about audience and investment and legitimacy. And so now that we have that box checked, the question shifts, and this is when it gets interesting. Which other sport has the foundation, the momentum, the infrastructure to build a $1 billion women's pro sports league here in the United States?
And this is where it's going to get fun, right, Jules?
Yeah.
Because, we both love a solid, good debate. We both love to win. Yeah. And when we started talking about this, we realized we had kind of different ideas. And to be clear, we think it could be many leagues that get there.
Yeah.
But today, the debate in which we will be having is who will be next, who will get there first, who will be the next $1 billion league.
Is your shirt giving any volleyball vibes off, maybe? I just noticed that.
It's a good question. I was trying to maybe
be subtle. Okay, before we get into the actual debate, a little history and context. As we mentioned, WNBA and WSL, they're the only two women's professional leagues in the United States that have reached or surpassed $1 billion valuations. WNBA's collective valuation reached approximately $3.5 billion in 2025. And that was driven by a record 180% year-over-year increase in team values. I mean, just for example, Golden State Valkyries currently lead the league with a $500 million valuation, while the New York Liberty is valued at $420 million. NWSL crossed the $1 billion collective valuation mark by early 2025. And as of late 2025, the numbers are here. Individual club valuations for Angel City, which is leading the league, is at $280 million. And the Kansas City Current is at $275 million. So as we said, it naturally begs the question with the women's sports movement that we are having, who's got next? Who can cross that $1 billion threshold? So, Abs, why don't you go first? Take your pick. Who is the next $1 billion league for women's sports after WNBA and NWSL?
Is the person who goes first usually get the least amount of support in a debate? I'm curious.
It depends on your debate points, I would argue.
True. Okay, so I think, and again, I have to say this, and I'm going to say this again at the end of this episode. This is not to dog any of the other ones. We just are going with what we feel might be the very next women's sport.
Yeah, because there will be many, I think.
Yeah, it's going to keep happening.
The $1 billion pile of leagues will be large.
Exactly. I believe that volleyball will be the next one.
Okay.
And I have a lot of reasons for it.
Okay.
And there's one that is very simple, and it's like my barometer is what does my wife bring up? And who doesn't really, she only watches sports when I'm like watching sports.
That's a great barometer, actually.
And I'm like, I have to like tell her the whole story about the sport we're about to watch to get her invested on like a human level. And during the NCAA tournament, she was like so excited to continue watching after she saw Nebraska and the people, and she was like, wait, this is something happening here. And for all of our sensitive bunnies listening to this, she also really loves volleyball because there's no opposing team touching. The teams are on opposite sides of the net, and she really loves that.
There's no contact.
I'm going to get into better points, but I just wanted to say
that's a huge one.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, volleyball is the #1 girls team sport. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's the most popular team sport for high school girls, surpassing basketball in participation, basically by a huge margin. Massive participation. Over 490,000 girls played high school volleyball in 2024 to 2025. There's interest in athletes, it's just booming. According to data from opendoors.com, NIL compensation for female volleyball athletes skyrocketed 365% from year 1 to year 2 of NIL.
Yeah.
And then the following year, 2023 to 2024, saw another 123% increase. Also, this like anticipated revenue sharing signals beginning in July of 2025. Colleges can actually directly share athletic revenue with athletes under the new NCAA's House settlement. In addition to the big time sports programs like football and basketball, many Division I programs have said they plan to include women's volleyball in those distributions, signaling the sport is being treated as a priority in the next era of athlete compensation.
Okay.
And here we go again with the record-breaking NCAA volleyball viewership. In 2024, there was the most watched regular season ever, averaging 140,000 viewers per match, and that's 21% increase year over year. And in 2025, it broke that record again.
Abby's coming loaded with stats. Who are you?
I know, because look,
she is coming in hot.
I had to do a lot of research for this, and I did. Okay.
And I did.
But I think what's also important is, these NCAA games, ESPN aired 4 of its 5 most watched volleyball games ever in 2025. Nebraska, Kentucky drew 1.2 million viewers. Me and Glennon were 2 of them. And then and then in 2025, the national championship, 1.4 million peak viewers. This is like the pipeline, right? Like what I've just talked about is what will then make the professional leagues completely solid and ramp it with the best players. And it is the pipeline, and the youth pipeline from high school to college to now the professional leagues. That is how you maintain solid ground in the professional world, which I think that the sponsors and the broadcast channels will just keep coming back, because they know that those kids are going to, want to be
Keep playing.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel that has always been the superpower of sports for women in the United States, because you have so many girls playing comparatively to other countries because of this amazing law called Title IX that was passed.
Yes.
Anyways, yeah. Okay.
Professional leagues. There's a few.
Okay. This is where I'm like, okay, and I'm not going to push back yet. I'm letting you lay out your
let me lay it out.
roadmap.
But I understand. I think that athletes. There's a few leagues. One is called Athletes Unlimited Volleyball, and it establishes. It started in 2021.
Yeah.
We've got Love. So that started in 2025, and it's in its second season. Love Austin and Love Nebraska was up 85% on USA Network. And then there's now 3 new expansion teams: LA, Minnesota, Bay Area, SF. What's up?
I got to get myself a shirt, clearly.
You've got 3 leagues: AU Volleyball, Love Volleyball, and MLV.
It's a lot of professional leagues.
It's a lot of professional leagues, but I know that a lot of these players had to go play in Europe, and now there's a place for them to play here at home. And with the sponsorship, the TV deals, it's not a future bet. The pipeline is unmatched. Youth to high school to college to pro, it's all there. Volleyball isn't waiting for its moment. It's already in it. Volleyball doesn't need to convince anyone it belongs, Julie. It needs to organize what already exists. So let's not forget that.
Okay, that is where I would poke my hole. It needs to organize what already exists. And this has always been the thing, I feel like, for women's volleyball. So I worry that too many leagues dilutes the product and the valuations and the long-term confidence for investors. So I do not disagree with anything you threw out there, because I'm a huge believer in volleyball. But I do worry that the number of leagues then dilutes their ability to be the first sport to cross that $1 billion threshold. Sorry, league, third league. First one after
Jules,
WNBA and NWSL.
What I think is Larry Bird as great of an athlete without Magic Johnson?
No.
See, sometimes you do need a little competition.
Within the same league, yes.
Sometimes you need a little competition.
Although with Madison Skinner on, I think the greatest suggestion you ever made.
Let's have the champions play each other and see who wins.
That's what I said. I wanted to have a crossover. And so we can all get on the same page. I'm like, let's do it. Because everyone's like, oh, MLV is better, or oh, Love is better. Let's really put it to the test. Or we'll build an all-star team, and y'all build an all-star team, and we'll go head to head.
So it'll be interesting to see how it kind of all shakes out, and to see what league literally rises to the top to gain this $1 billion status. But it's going to for sure be volleyball. I know it.
Okay.
Do you want to try your case?
I'm going to make my case, yes. I am making my case. This is going to surprise you, I think.
Yeah, I'm so
I
curious.
am making my case for flag football.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is
because we really don't even have a professional league yet. We'll get into that for flag football. But I think it's going to happen quickly, and there's a few reasons why. Okay? We know in 2028 at the Los Angeles Olympics, what sport is making its debut? Flag football. Okay, so you have that. Huge.
Okay.
Here in the United States, big news, right? It, like you were mentioning with volleyball, has been one of the fastest growing sports at the youth, high school, and collegiate level. And the popularity and the numbers are booming because it's safe. It's a safe alternative to football. No contact. Parents love that. To tackle football, I should say. It's inclusive. Like, you could do co-ed. You could do literally all sizes, similar to soccer, all sizes can play, and it's accessible. And this is huge news. Literally just in January, the NCAA approved it as an emerging sport for women, Abigail. And what that means is that sets up the ability to play at all three divisions with championships, and all three divisions approve that. So it's going to be a legitimate NCAA sport at all three divisions. So I just think that's going to just make the youth development programs even more robust. And perhaps the most important reason why, that this will be the first women's league after NWSL and WNBA to hit the $1 billion mark. NFL. I haven't even mentioned the 3-letter word yet. NFL. Big bucks, big marketing, big investment. Okay? And this is their user-friendly version of tackle football. So they are pumping it up because it's safer. As I said, parents love it. The problem is there's no comprehensive professional league yet, national league. Right now, there are a few smaller leagues. They've got this one called Women's Football Alliance. It's been the largest and longest running. There's one called WNFC, which started in 2019, and they added flag football in 2024. Women's Football Alliance added flag football in 2025. So they're just now adding flag football to these leagues. There's one in SoCal that's popping up as well. But the great news is, in December of 2025, the NFL voted in their December league meetings that they're going to support one pro flag football league. So it literally authorizes the NFL to invest up to $32 million in that league. Let's go. Who's winning the debate? So it's coming. You got the pipeline. The foundation is being laid by NFL. You got the Olympics. You've got now an NFL-supported league. I don't know when the heck that's going to start, but it's going to be quick. You've got college teams. Boom. Hashtag Julie wins debate.
Okay.
Flag football is next.
I hear all of that. I think that this is interesting. I have a couple of counterpoints that I want to make to you, Jules. One being, not every time does Olympic momentum automatically translate to having a sustainable pro league. We know that.
Sadly, we know that too.
We had to win how many Olympic gold medals in order to prove it time and time again. How many
Olympic golds is it going to take for a damn sustainable league?
And I also just want to say this for my heart. Though getting money from the NFL and having them as this big engine behind flag football, that could be a positive. I also think it can be a big negative in that, especially for women leagues, you want to have the right people at the table making decisions, right? That are not just worrying about or thinking about only the bottom line. I don't think that every women's league needs to attach themselves to a men's league in order to be successful. In fact, women's soccer is a proof point that we don't have to do that. But
it's a good point. But I would say, and this is why we're going to phone a friend, actually, because I want to hear a different side of it from someone who's in the game. So each of us are going to phone a friend soon. I do think that NFL understands that they dominate the men's market, of course, right? The NFL numbers they get for television broadcasts and sponsorship revenue are just in a league of their own. Their numbers are so much bigger than NBA, any other men's sport. And what I think is they're now trying to think, how can we bring in the women's market in a true form as well? You can't just stamp an NFL roadmap onto a women's pro flag football league and think that it's going to be the same formula.
I agree.
So, yeah, that is a good point. So we are going to phone a friend. Abigail, I think I have a rad friend. Her name is Diana Flores because she is a rock star in the flag football world. Who are you phoning?
I'm phoning Kelsey Robinson Cook, just like a badass, won basically everything, 3 Olympic medals. She's incredible. She's also part owner of our Love SF team, Jules. So I'm excited to actually meet her for the first time when we talk.
Yeah. CARE is a global powerhouse for change. ABS, they are, as you know, an organization that fights poverty all over the world, and they have a special focus on women and girls. So it makes sense, perfect sense, that we are partnering with them to celebrate International Women's Day. And this year, CARE is talking about something we know really well, the uneven playing field that women face. And let's face it, every woman who has competed in sports, has had a successful career, or sometimes just fought to be heard, knows it can be an uphill battle. We can have tremendous talents, we can put in extra hours at work and at home, but the truth is the playing field is uneven. And we exceed expectations because we've learned we often have to. And still, the truth is unavoidable. The playing field has never been level. I will say that again. The playing field has never been level. This isn't about ability or ambition. It's about unspoken barriers that honestly continue to tilt the ground beneath our feet. And despite the imbalance, women keep pushing forward, but we always find a way to lead. That's what we love about women. We excel. And by doing that, we reshape spaces that weren't built with us in mind. And that's what CARE does every single day all over the world. So who cares about leveling the playing field for women? You do, and so does CARE. And so do we, every day around the world and local communities with local leadership. Sign the pledge at care.org/pledge. Okay, party people, today we have got to, Abigail, shout out the people who kept us literally on the field, throughout our careers. Yep. So literally the people who taped us up, rebuilt us, rehabbed us, got us back out there, and we were always able to perform at our best thanks to the medical professionals who always had our backs.
Yep.
And our knees and your ankles.
Yeah.
And the list goes on and on.
It's true.
And that's absolutely the case with legendary skier Lindsey Vonn. And as we've been following and talking about her epic return to the 2026 Winter Games, she's already, as we know, one of the GOATs, but now she's coming back after devastating injuries. And I'm thrilled to watch her because we know she's going to crush at the Olympics in Milan.
So yep.
And Lindsay's amazing medical team and the entire USA medical team will be wearing awesome uniforms from FIGS. This company makes kick-ass scrubs normally, and then their Olympic uniforms are next level. They are the official outfitters of Team USA's medical team. And the great news is you can wear the Team USA collection too. It's cool. It's functional. Ups your scrub game for sure. Check out the limited edition Team USA collection and get 15% off your first order at wearfigs.com with code FIGSRX. FIGSRX. That's wearfigs.com, code FIGSRX.
I'm actually going to go get those right now. That sounds so exciting.
Okay, party people, to help close this debate once and for all, it only seemed fair that we could each phone a friend, as we talked about, to help make the case with us. Perhaps someone that knows a little bit more about the sport we're fighting for than the two of us. So, okay. Abby, do you want to phone your friend and introduce her?
Yes. And first of all, I know that I'm right, and you know that I'm right. But in case anyone out there needs a little more convincing, I'm going to double down and phone a friend. Let's bring in Kelsey Robinson Cook. She dominated the sport of volleyball at every level: college, pro, international, Olympic. 3 Olympic medals, the full set: bronze in Rio, gold in Tokyo, silver in Paris, championships all over the world. She was league MVP in Love's inaugural season, and she's also a part owner with us, Jules, at Love San Francisco. And with a baby girl on the way, she's got real stakes in what the future of the sport looks like. So if anyone has earned the right to weigh in here, it's Kelsey. Kelsey Robinson Cook, welcome to the party. Woo! Welcome, Casey.
Welcome. The intro makes me feel a lot of pressure to know what I'm talking about.
I think you're going to be just fine, Kelsey. Okay, before you give your side of the argument, I am phoning my friend, who is a flag football icon,
Yes.
Diana Flores. She is world-renowned quarterback and captain for Mexico's national flag football team. She's a global ambassador for the NFL. She's led Mexico to multiple world championships, winning MVP, by the way, at the 2022 World Games. She also, y'all might remember, starred in the Emmy-winning, fantastic Super Bowl commercial called Run With It. Kinger, Billie Jean King, actually made a cameo in it, and
really?
literally has been breaking barriers as a trailblazer for women in the sport of flag football from a very young age. She just got named to be part of the board of trustees for Billie Jean King's Women's Sports Foundation, and she just came out with a new book which makes her the ultimate debate pro called Flag Football for Dummies. Diana Flores, welcome to the party!
Welcome, Gianna, to the party.
Thank you. I'm super excited to be here. You have the best introductions ever.
Aw, thank you. Thank you. All right, Abs, do you want Kelsey to make the case first? Actually, you went first last time, so we go first this time.
Yeah, you
okay?
guys go.
Diana, please tell us why you think women's flag football will become the next billion-dollar women's sports league in the United States.
Well, flag football is living in an amazing moment in time. It's now more than momentum, it's a movement. The growth that the sport has had in the world has been amazing. Right now, we have more than 20 million players, boys, girls, men, women around the globe.
Wait,
more
20 million?
20 million. And this growth has happened in the past, I'm going to say 7 to 5 years. So that's mind-blowing if you see it that way. Now we have more than 100 countries that play this sport, from the grassroots to the adults. And it's just opening more opportunities for boys and girls worldwide. Now, girls in the States can earn scholarships thanks to flag football. That happens in Mexico as well. And you know that it became an Olympic sport for LA 28, which is a huge milestone.
Oh, we know that.
Plus, now
These are
recently,
excellent points, Diana.
yes, and it was
You're doing
recently
great.
like I got ready for this, you know.
Thank you. I knew it. I knew it.
No, plus, you know, last week, actually, the NCAA admitted flag football as an emerging sport. That will be
Oh, we know that. Yes. See?
a huge step. And I mean, all of these things just recently happened, plus investment from the NFL, $32 million for the Pro League.
Yes.
This
we
just
know
happened.
that too.
Like, this just happened, but flag football has been growing without that investment, you know, with that opportunity, with those platforms. I think an amazing characteristic of the sport is that it's so accessible. So boys, girls can just jump in the game. You don't need a lot of equipment. You don't need a lot of investment to just put a team together and just reach every city in different countries, and that has helped flag football grow in an amazing way. So those are like the key points, I think, why flag football is the next sport that is gonna keep opening opportunities for girls and women. So
Amazing.
Amazing. Round of applause for Diana Flores.
Well done. Okay, and you know, I just we've got to rebut that in some fun fashion. So Kelsey, please, can you tell us why you think volleyball will become the next billion-dollar women's sports league in the United States?
Okay. Well, already it's the #1 team sport being played by young girls in the country. So we have that.
Yes. Yes.
And I think at the youth level, just in the last 15 years, we've really seen an exponential growth. There are so many clubs, so many young women playing, but beyond that, there's not just young women playing. We have beach leagues, we have rec leagues across the country, we have grass leagues. So there's so much volleyball being played in the United States. And to talk about the international level, volleyball is already probably around like the third most popular sport next to soccer and basketball. And so internationally, we already are a very popular sport. But bringing it back to the United States, I think there was a stat like 96% of NCAA schools sponsor women's volleyball. So I think for me, the biggest thing is the foundation is there. We've just had to go overseas to play it professionally. So we haven't had the chance to really like showcase professionally what it can do in the United States, and now we have that. And then the stats from first serve with League One to in the first year to the second year, the stats were like exponentially larger with how much viewership.
Really?
I think Love was blown away with the numbers of viewership from year 1 to year 2, and you're already seeing it with USA Network. They're having some of their most watched games. So I think we've seen the growth in youth, we've seen the growth in college, and I think we're at the very, very beginning of what volleyball is going to look like in the next 2, 3, 10 years. I think it's going to be massive.
Yes, that is what I'm talking about. And you guys both made incredible points that both Julie and I also made. We are going to have to take it up with the party people, which is our the people who listen.
Wait, I have one question before we go to the party people. Okay, my one question is, why do so many people go play overseas? Is that because they didn't have the established league here in the United States, and so that has kind of been the pathway that was set? And then why, because there's so many people playing in the United States already, hasn't there been...
To be honest, I know they've tried in the past. Like historically, there has been like sprinkles of leagues that have tried, but they've always failed because I don't think they've been created with the right model. And so that was, I mean, we see it now. We have 2 leagues. Hopefully one day it's 1 league. But you see a lot of the Olympians backing League One because the model is done in a way that can support the growth sustainably over time. And I think if it's ever going to work professionally, this is the league that's going to do it. And we just haven't been given the chance, really. So that's why we've had to go overseas. And it's honestly made our national team amazing because we have to be not only one of the best USA players, but we have to be best like foreigners in the world. So it's made our national team really great. And we've medaled in the last 7 Olympics. And so volleyball is just having its moment, and it's going to be.
It is. But flag football is about to have its moment with the 2028 games. Diana, are you going to try and play in those, right?
Yes, of course. That's a next big goal for me.
Okay. And in Mexico is one of the favorites. Is the United States also pretty good?
Of course, the United States has always been one of the top countries. Recently, last year, by first time, Mexico was ranked number 1 in the world. So yes, I want to say we're favorites to be in the Olympics and hopefully win a gold there. But, you know, again, going to the road of flag, just talent abroad is amazing. Last year in World Games China, we saw like different countries as national Chinese team going there to compete, the Japanese team, Canada. They are raising their standards, they are raising their level. So I think that's another fun part of flag football that is so dynamic, that new generations now are the ones that are jumping in, you know, like they are curious, they're learning fast, and it's just the beauty of the sport, I think, right now.
Yeah. And anecdotally, my last point I will make for flag football is Izzy, my 18-year-old, she's now 19, she's off to college, but when she was in high school coming through, all these soccer players, lacrosse players, volleyball players, do you know what their second sport was that they all played? Flag football.
Flag.
No
they
way.
Were all, and they all were like, It is amazing. It's growing so much. And a lot of them ended up leaving their like soccer background or basketball background and started playing flag football because they loved it so much. It was really cool to see.
I will say my daughter in college right now, she just signed up for a flag football team.
Oh,
Wow,
see?
that's amazing.
Yeah. So
See, Tish knows.
It's
Tish
happening.
knows.
It's happening. I just want to say thank you guys both for coming on and being a part of this fun and silly debate that we have, because the truth behind Julie and I is that we want every women's sports league to get to this $1 billion valuation and to have the success that they all deserve. But this was just wrapped around who's going to go next. And so please don't feel offended that I didn't maybe think flag football was going next, because it's happening. Yes. We are all going to be supporting you all in 2028. And Kelsey, I can't wait to meet you in person in and around the Love SF team. We're really excited about it.
Yeah.
No, thank
Thank
you
you for
so much.
having us.
Yeah,
I
you guys
honestly also love flag football. I used to play football at recess, so I'm
There you
not a
have it.
great runner. I'm more
Kelsey
into
just confirmed it.
There you have it. But here's the thing. This is what makes women's sports different. We all want to help and support each other. I think that is why the WNBA and the NWSL actually have achieved this status, because they've been fighting for each other, with each other, wearing the t-shirts, pay them what they deserve, all of that. Like, that is why I think women's sports and all of these women's leagues are going to thrive and get to that $1 billion valuation at some point, and hopefully in the most nearest future.
Yes. And
I
you
just wanna
guys are
say-
leading the pathways.
I'm sorry. I just want to say that I'm a huge fan of each one of you. Kelsey, hopefully we'll meet in person soon. And you said it, Abby. I think this is the beauty of women in sports, that we all cheer and support for each other, because somehow, even if we play different sports, even if our backgrounds have been a little different, maybe, we all have been through the same struggles. We all have been through the same journey. So I just want to say I feel super proud of what you have done, how you paved the way, Abby, Julie, and what you're doing, Kelsey. Just huge fan. And yes, as you said, hopefully we can see each other winning in the next couple of years, and just seeing the next generations win bigger, even.
Yeah.
Yes.
So well said. That's
So-
perfectly said. Hey, will you guys close out the show with us? We're going to do a party pose, and then we're going to teach you our soccer cheer. And you can close out the show. Does that sound good?
Yep.
Okay, party people. Your chance to weigh in as well. Which sport will be the first to get there? Let us know what you think, and tell us what or who or which sport, I should say, is going to be there first. Okay, party pose on 3. Diana and Kelsey. Do you know how this works? You just give any type of party pose that you want. Oh, Abby's got it. Okay. On 3. 3, 2, 1. Good.
So funny that the same one.
Same.
It's so good. And then, okay, so on the U.S. women's soccer team, this has been the same cheer. So, Diana, this might feel a little bit weird for you since you're a Mexican national. But when we go into the huddle, we say, USA, 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 ah, because when the very first women's national team went to Italy in 1985, the Italians from the stands called us USA because that was USA, that they read it. So it's been there for whatever it is, 40 years now. 40 years. This has been the same exact cheer that every single women's soccer team has ever done. So I'm going to count us all in. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to say USA, 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 ah.
Okay.
Make sense?
I like it.
And Diana.
And I just have to say that is from the soul. It's like, okay? Because it's the last thing you do before you go out and play. So.
Okay. You guys ready?
Put your paws in. Put your paws in.
USA, ah, on 3. 1, 2, 3.
USA, USA,
USA,
USA,
USA,
USA.
Welcome to the Party is an independent production brought to you by Treat Media. Treat Media makes art for humans who want to stay human. Initial Digital is our production partner, and you can also watch our full conversations on the Welcome to the Party YouTube channel and follow us at Welcome to the Party Show on Instagram and TikTok. Thanks for listening.